Hello and welcome back to the Valeting YouTube channel. We're just taking delivery of an Audi A5 S-Line convertible. It's in for our gold valet package and a roof clean. So just gotta go around and take a look at it so you can see kind of the best order to do things in. We've already got an order of process, but just in case there is anything that we can alter to make the job run a little bit more efficiently, then we can adjust it before we even start. So we'll just go for a quick walk around the car and show you what we're going to work on. While we've been walking around doing the pre-valet assessment, we've noticed that the wheels have been smart repaired, which is pretty much the point where we just feel, or that it then becomes obvious that we're not going to get much more improvement out of the wheels themselves, due to the fact that here on the wheel itself you can still see the previous damage, which could have been one of the reasons why the wheels were repaired. And then if you look in the backs, if I can get in there, in the backs of the wheels, it's all covered in paint and overspray. And the wheel, quite a lot of the time, the wheels aren't even cleaned in the backs before the fronts are painted. So in actual fact, all of this dirt that's in here is underneath paint. So other than a little bit of tire dressing and wiping off this light brake dust that's on the surface, the wheels aren't really going to get much better than what they are, unless they're taken off and properly and professionally refurbed. I imagine it's been a little while since the exhaust tips have been cleaned or polished, as well as the back box as well. So we'll see what we can do with that. Hopefully that will come up a little bit better. So in the roof we've got plenty of build up of dust and debris. If you look carefully in the right light, we've got lots of green, so you can see that there's a big line of green across here, a big line of green across there. Always down along the bottom of the window. So now all of the arches and undersides have now been done. Now we're going to work on the roof, and the reason why we started on the bottom is because when we start on the bottom, the floor is dry, so we can actually work with a dry floor it's pretty wet by the time that we get about halfway around the car anyway. But the longer you stay dry, the better really. So now we're going to do the roof. We've not washed the main car yet, and the reason for that is by the time that we've washed the roof, all of the dirt comes off the roof, drops down the side of the car, and then you're going to have to wash the car again. So we can wash the roof, and then we'll wash the car, then we'll re-soak the roof while we're washing the car, and then that way we can inspect it and see if there's any little spots that need cleaning. So first of all, we've got our brushes here. We've got quite a soft brush just for sort of agitating the fibres of the roof. We've got the kind of like a really rough toothbrush. That's more for getting along the seams and really sort of like tight areas, maybe closer down towards where the bodywork is, where you don't want to be getting a big clunky brush like this. And this brush is literally just lightly scrubbing over the fibres. There's always going to be one person that says, oh, you shouldn't use a pressure washer on a fabric roof. Well, to be honest, you can. If I was holding it that close to the roof, it would do damage. If I'm holding it here, it's actually quite safe. It's like driving fast in the rain. Bodywork cleaned, engine cleaned, door shuts, wheel arches, the underside's been cleaned and rinsed off as well. So the plastic belly pans that are on there, they're now all nice and clean as well. Just going to move it inside, dry it off, de-tar it, clay bar it, polish the exhaust, and I think that's it for this evening. And we'll come back to it another day. Here's something that I wish I'd kind of checked outside before I brought it in and dried it. I've just been drying the engine bay. This big old piece comes off quite easily. And look at that! Literally like leaves everywhere. So I'm going to make a hell of a mess in here, but I'm going to hoover it and blow it out and do whatever I can to get all that out. we saw the exhaust earlier, they were pretty caked on. There's still tar on them, so we're going to soak it in some tar and glue remover to get that off before we start polishing anything. And especially on the back box, there's a lot of tar on there as well. So we're just going to get that off with tar and glue remover. When the trigger works, here we go. That's a 10-year-old car, and well, the exhaust has probably never been cleaned, and the chrome coating from around the tip of the exhaust has actually all come off. It's just fallen off over time. Where the carbon deposits sit on the exhaust, it does something and it just makes it fall off. I don't know what it is, I've never really looked into that, but it's shiny on the sides because that's where the chrome coating still is, but it's just not on the very tips, as you can see. But we can make the best of what we've got. A little bit of 000 wire wool, Chemical Guys heavy metal polish, whack it on, and then rub it on. So as you can see, the exhaust is quite an improvement from what it was. We've got some big welding splats here where they've welded the tip on. I don't think that there's too much that I'm going to be able to do about those because they're kind of like a big metallic scab, is the only way that I can describe them to you. And right around the tip here, the chrome plating's come off. Overall, the side of it and the back box has come up to a satisfactory standard for a 10-year-old car.